Hmm. Okay. Yay. All right. Deep breath. It doesn't have to be hard. We just have a lot of challenge. So good morning. I'm Judge Person and welcome to Temple Municipal Court. I'm going to repeat myself just a bit while everybody's kind of getting their audio connected. Everyone's computer might do that at a slower or different pace. So as I see people connect, I'll start with because what you don't see is as the administrator of the meeting, everybody all. Just a couple of things I want to highlight. Please do not drive during a meeting. It is a crime. Stay parked if you're in your car. Okay. Another thing I want to do is I need to identify who's here and so, and I also will keep people muted during the proceeding until it's your turn. And then I'll have an opportunity to, figure out what's going on with each person in their case. I'm also going to make some announcements that sort of help people understand how things move through a courtroom and what the options are kind of along the way. So I'll work on that too. So most people are connected. Now I do have a variety of people that I have not been able to identify. So I will kind of start calling on people to figure that out. I do have a person named Hannah. So Hannah, can you unmute and just tell me your full name?
I'm sorry, that's Samantha Carlton. I'm using my aunt's Zoom.
Perfectly fine. And you're not the first or last person. But I want to have the right file when we start talking. So I'm just going to change the name on the screen. It's temporary. It won't affect her settings in any way. It'll be on my screen and you'll see it. But when you log out, it'll revert back to, what's going on. And then the other thing I want to do is I've got a few more people. So then I had someone on a telephone call. It's a 254 area code 270. Can you unmute and tell me your name? And I'm kind of hitting you with an unmute request. Hello on the phone. Telephone 254 area code ending in 270. So part of this is a little test because when it's your turn, if I can't communicate with you, we're not having a meeting. So I'm trying to make sure we're connected and I don't know who you are. And of course, we're live on YouTube. Anyone can watch court, but being in the room, you've got to be on the docket. Phone caller, I'll come back. I'll try again. I'm not going to toss you. Hi.
I'm trying to. My name's Chloe.
And your last name, Chloe?
Gamede.
Thank you so much. Okay, so keep listening because Ms. Gamendez, what will happen is that when it's your turn, I'll call your name and it'll be kind of like this. And I do know it's a little harder on the phone and I'll be mindful of that. But if you'll stay listening, that will help because I've noticed over the course of time that phone callers tend to have a bit of a challenge staying focused on the meeting. Sometimes they tune it out and then I call their name and they don't hear. So when I call your name, I'll be asking you to unmute again, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be back with you shortly. Just listen to the meeting because it'll help you. As with everyone, it's helpful, honestly. If you listen to the meeting and listen to how other people's cases are going, you'll learn some things that might be helpful. Gentlemen, he's not connected yet. I'm not hearing the audio labeled Moto G Power, so I don't know who he is. I'm going to send him a chat. I've sent a message there. normally, the meeting's going to take a lot longer because I have half the people unidentifiable today. Okay, I see a few that have been changed. There was a person, I think they changed it. That's also a caregiver 254. Can you tell me your name, please?
Miranda Patterson.
Thank you, Miss Patterson. That's And again, I'm just changing it for this meeting. It won't change it permanently, but now I'll pull the right file. You see, it always helps if I know who's here and I can make sure that when I get to that person, I know who they are. U307AS, I'm hitting you with an unmute request and asking for your name, please.
Misty Frazier.
Thank you, Ms. Ratio. And slowly filling in the blanks here today. Let's see, check that one off. I got that one, And I have someone on an iPhone. It's just labeled iPhone. And you'll know it's you because yes, ma'am, in a red top. Can you tell me your name?
Robin Smith.
Okay. Great, I've got you logged in. Let's see. And then the word from Moto G. Also LC Benaby. I saw that name. Can you unmute? It was labeled LC Benaby. Now I don't.
Bernhard.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, great. So you already fixed that for me. Thank you. Great. And then Leanne Robinson. Someone was labeled Leanne Robinson.
Yes, it's Leanne Ruiz.
How do you spell the last name?
Ruiz, R-U-I-Z.
There we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Normally I don't have this much happening, but we're good. We'll get there. And I'll just beg your patience a few more times this morning. It looks like I've got everyone that I've seen in the meeting identified other than the person labeled Moto G. Let me go out this one more way. If I call your name, it means I think you're not here. So don't worry if your name is not called right now. But Ponganisha Campbell, are you here? Brittany Chipman, are you here? Amanda Hamilton, are you here? Kamora Joseph, are you here? And Richard Volchik, are you here? And then on the contested docket, did I hear Amanda Hamilton is here? And Rafael Lopez, Marietta Medverick, and Shakola Royal. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. So again, my name is Judge Person. I do welcome everybody to court this morning. This is a Class C court. It's the Temple Municipal Court. You were given a link to this meeting because you have a case pending with the court. It can be for a variety of reasons because I don't really take my docket and split them off. I just take everybody and I take their case where it is when it comes to me, so that my dockets stay very open to whoever is needing to be talked to, seen, heard, whatever the case may be. So I'll be doing a variety of things, and my remarks now are not legal advice. If you want legal advice, that's where a lawyer listens to the facts of your case and applies it to your case. In Class C courts, you're entitled to take a break from your case before your first plea is entered and meet with an attorney of your choice. I'm a bit warm if you don't want. And so what I'll tell you is that if I have not yet accepted your plea and you need that break, I'll need you to say, hey, I need time before we get started this morning. If a plea has already been entered in any way, normally you waive that right. And in Class C courts, that's a little bit of an odd thing because you can send in at $1 and that's a plea of guilty. So, or a plea at least of no contest. So sometimes, you can't have that break. Sometimes you can, and we're going to take it right where it is at the time. So just talk to me about that if you have questions about that. What I'm going to do right now is just tell everybody how things move through a municipal court like this one and what your rights and duties are along the way. And then we'll start doing the individual cases. If you've pleaded not guilty or on the contested docket, that's a separate docket that will come in and out of a breakout room. That meeting is with the city's prosecutor. Our prosecutor right now is named Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson, can you introduce yourself again? And that way your voice will push you onto the screen for everybody for a brief moment.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matson. And what that means as the prosecutor is he's not your legal representative. He's a representative of the state. And if you are contesting your charge, ultimately, talk about that in a moment. That means, you're contesting it, pleading not guilty. Then he is the party on the other side of that case in opposition. He's not your legal advisor. He usually will tell you that, but I like to just make sure that we're all very clear up. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the nature of this court is that we are a Class C court. The things that are filed here are Class C offenses. That means that if you are found guilty, you are normally not sentenced to jail as a consequence. Now you can get warrants for not following a court order or not showing up. Okay. That can look a lot of different ways, but if you have a court date or something due to the court, such as a class payment, hours due, those things need to be attended to and done properly on time, or you can wind up with it. So that's how people get warrants in this. When you go up to higher level courts, Class Bs and greater, can be sentenced to jail time. Here you can go to jail because you didn't do something you're required to do. We have duties under our law, and we have responsibilities that connect to our rights. I'll give you some examples of that. So in a Class C court, it's a fine and okay. And when you're sentenced to fines and costs, then we look at the ability to. If you contest your charge, we also look at the payment or posting of a bond while your case is pending. So it can happen that people are being asked for information about their financial situation, even though they are presumed not guilty. So we might need to fill some blanks in because sometimes people get worried about that. And I'll talk to you about that if that's your situation. The next thing I want to talk to you about is just what a ticket is. So when you're given a ticket, issued a citation, that's a method under the law for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And a plea, when you give a plea, you're giving your answer or response to that accusation. And there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Now, our law presumes that we're not guilty. So that can change at trial. That can change when you change it. Okay. That doesn't change mysteriously. Okay. So if you plead not guilty, you are moving toward trial ultimately, because when you plead not guilty, you're saying, I am holding on the presumption of innocence. I want a trial. Move me toward a trial, judge. So I'm going to talk to you about where those pleas will take you so that you know where you're going. Okay. This is the road mapping that I'm going to be doing right now. So not guilty is a pretrial here on Zoom. Sometimes I would say actually it's about a 70% resolution rate on this docket. Then there's a layer of cases that peel off that aren't resolved. We come into court on the next setting, which is a final pretrial. Any pretrial matters that need to be resolved prior to trial are supposed to be brought to the court's attention. And, we look at those things, we set things. I talk to you in that setting here live about rights and duties that you have here once we come into court. Okay. And then we set your case for trial. So on the not guilty docket, there is a live proceeding that you'll do next and then trial. Okay. Just to be clear about it, because it already was in your paperwork, but we want to confirm it and we'll confirm it today if that's where we're going. Okay. So everybody today will leave today with something they're doing next, generally speaking. Okay. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. If it was already resolved, you wouldn't be here. Okay. So if you plead guilty, let's get to the other two. You're saying I did this. Okay. And we're moving into sentencing at that point. And like I said, normally that's payment of fines and costs. I do have to look at income at that point. I need a realistic picture of what is happening in your financial life at that point, because I want to make a good order that is doable. The goal is not to make it impossible so you fail and get a warrant. That's not my goal. My goal is a reality check at that point so that I can look realistically at what's going on in your financial life. And so we have to have that conversation. It's not something people like to talk about, but I do it all the time. And I guarantee you, I've heard most things. So we can just talk about those things. And that's why we ask for paperwork on that docket. If you plead, and also if you plead guilty or no contest, so normally we're paying fines and costs. So on no contest, it works the same way. You're not admitting the offense. You're not denying the offense either, though. You're moving forward with sentencing. So on guilty or no contest, we're moving forward with sentencing. Normally that's paying fines and costs. That is subject to modification as the judge when I look at your financial situation. Okay. So we'll talk about that. And then normally it goes on your record. However, there are 4 exceptions to having an item go on your record, 4 ways to gain a dismissal, even on a plea of guilty or no contest. And I just want to tell you what they are and briefly how they work. And then we're going to get going with people's cases. Okay. All right. So if you have a case that, and by the way, this information is on our website, but not everybody did that, has time to do that, or learns things that way. So now I'm going to do the audio version. Okay. So 4 ways to gain a dismissal. Those are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. So the first one, compliance. Under state law, there are several items, approximately 15, that can be brought up to date and dismissed on time. So if you're on time to court and you've got something like that, then you might be qualified to do that. Let me give you an example just to make it concrete. Let's say you're driving down the road, you turn on your blinker, you turn, officer pulls you over and says you didn't turn on your blinker, and you say, but I did. And y'all talk a while, you look at it, and what you figure out is you've got a piece of defective equipment, your bulb is burned out. You fix it, you get a ticket for defective equipment, broken headlight, broken tail light, broken blinker. You fix it, you show up on time with proof that you fixed it, you pay a $10 fee and you get the case dismissed. Okay. Chiefly, you do need to be on time with it fixed. If you're on time and you qualify and you need more time, we'll be looking at the options, whether we can just get you to that dismissal. So that's an example. And like I said, there are about 15 of those. I know no one wants to hear all that, especially since we only have a couple of those on the docket. What you can expect from me as the judge is I will identify that with you and start looking to see if you're qualified. And if you are, well, I'll be moving in that direction unless you don't want to, okay, or can't. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is a moving violation. In Texas law can be dismissed through a driver safety course option once every 12 months, dating from last class to next ticket, okay? So I'll look and see if you might be qualified, and I'll move in that direction and see if you want the option. If you don't, you don't. Let me talk to you just a little bit about that and get back to money again. So every ticket has a court cost and a fine, okay? In the driving safety course option, like let's say you call the clerk, how much is this ticket? Clerk says $259, and you go, holy smokes. Well, part of that is a court cost and part of that is a fine. And the differences matter in the driving safety course option because you pay the court costs and you don't pay the fine. And you turn in your course and your record on time and you get your ticket dismissed and your fine gets waived. You never pay it if you do the thing right. Okay, you got to do it right. So that option is a good option on a plea of guilty or no contest if you qualify. What you can expect from me is that I will look and see if you appear to be qualified. I'm going to start asking you the qualifying questions. That's why it's a good idea to listen while I work with people, because you'll learn, hey, wait, maybe that's an option. If you have questions about that, I can answer questions about how it works. I can't tell you what you should do with your case. Okay. If you ask me a question incidentally that I'm not allowed to answer under law because it's legal advice and I can't do that, I'll tell you. So don't be nervous, like I didn't know what to do, so I didn't ask. Ask. If I can't answer, I'll tell you why. You will not upset me unless you are rude or disruptive. Okay. So if you're asking a question and I can't answer, I'll just tell you, hey, I can't answer that. Here's why. Okay. And I'll let you know your options if it triggers an option conversation. Okay. So on the driver's safety course option, you can expect that I'm looking to see if you might be qualified. Okay. So far, I'm walking you through it because the law says the judge shall do so. Okay. The third option is called a deferred disposition. In a deferred disposition, we have to sort out the fines and costs. Sometimes there's a class, there's a good behavior probation-like period of up to 6 months, and sometimes a record, a class, a document, hours. There are things that might need to be done. You definitely don't get any more tickets during the deferral period or get arrested or get warrants. And if you do the things that are listed in your document, you get a dismissal. So it's just a way to know the outcome. It's a way I can get a dismissal. So here's the thing with that one. Everyone is absolutely able to ask for that. It's not something where I look and see if you're qualified. It's something where if you ask, the judge is required to consider it. I take it seriously when I'm asked. It was on your document that you filled out for court. You might have not understood what that was because it's a long-winded explanation to explain that thing. I do have it on our website. It is available on various internet conversations out there. But the reality is that you could have filled out your paperwork and not known what it was. So what do you do now? Well, if you haven't yet entered a plea that's been accepted by the court, you can ask for a deferred disposition by saying guilty or no contest. I'd like a deferred. It's that simple. Okay. So that would be how we would do that. But you're supposed to ask me. I'm not supposed to ask you. Now, if I think you might be asking, I'll clarify, but I'd like a deferred is how you ask. It's not complicated, but people always worry about magic language in a court. Like, what do I say? And you have to say that one. That one you have to do. So if you're asking for a deferred, you need to ask. And if I tell you no, I'll tell you why, but I will not debate it with you. Okay. So that's how that will go. If you are on the contested docket, you may also ask the prosecutor about a deferral option. The prosecutor has a right to take a position on that, on a not guilty plea. Okay. If you want to do that and they agree, and y'all bring that to me, I'm pretty open to that discussion happening. So that can come over from the contested docket by agreement. Okay. So that's a sort of a fifth wheel on that because that can happen that way. And then the fourth thing to get to a dismissal is if you are a high school, middle school, homeschooled student, GED student, any way that you are heading to the equivalency of a high school diploma, then I might be able to do teen court with you, which will keep it off your record. That is really not for college students, it's for high school students. So if you've already graduated or obtained your GED or diploma, you're not qualified. But if you haven't, and I'm not talking to you about it, speak up because I'm missing something there. I didn't realize, I do get 19-year-olds in high school. I get 15-year-olds in college. So, tell me if you're a student, because if I'm not talking to you about teen court, I either think you're not qualified or you aren't qualified. And I don't know. Speak up and let me know. So those are the four things that I have available for dismissals. Okay. That's really the all she wrote conversation. We're going to move on into the doc. Mr. Matson, your first person is George Graff. And Mr. Graff, can you unmute briefly and just tell me, that way I know audio is working before I send you into that meeting.
Good morning, Judge Pearson.
Good morning. Your hand has been up too, and I didn't do anything with that yet because I know you were first on the pretrial docket. So that's actually a meeting with the prosecutor. And it's really helpful if you can be on screen as well as audio. Is that possible?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. works great.
Okay.
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 So I'm gonna move you over to this breakout room with Mr. Mattson, the prosecutor. And when y'all are done having that conversation, y'all will come back over and y'all will give me a status update. And we'll
Very
see,
good.
we'll see where we're going next, okay?
Very good. Thank you so much.
sir. Yes, sir. Of course. And Mr. Mattson also sending you over to that meeting as well. All right, and so here we go. I am moving forward too. And the first person I would like to talk to is Letitia Peoples. Morning, Miss Peoples. How are you, ma'am? Let me find you again.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
How are you? How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. I know there's been a lot of back and forth, and I did get kind of an update this morning. Let me just kind of see where we are. I've got the wrong in my mind. I was thinking about the community service person. That's not this one, is it? Is that the one? Hang on just a moment. I'm going to get a clerk gave me an update earlier, and I got it confused with a different update.
Okay.
That's the one. Okay. Did she get another ticket? Okay. This says 8, which is no citation. No. And I pulled the wrong file. I apologize. I have 2 peoples on today, so
Oh, okay.
first one, I'm sorry. Hold on just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Louise, Sam's, Bulch. It's not in here. Let me see if it. You're welcome to. This is a first. Give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes when things get chaotic, it's just best if I take a deep breath. So y'all bear with me because I want to stay grounded in making good decisions. The clerk is helping me get this. We can recreate it. It's not a big deal. I know the clerk was working on your file earlier today.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe on her desk, so we're just checking on it. And I'm pulling I'm pulling your file on the So the person that we've been talking to, is this the one at TLC where they said we're for profit? Okay, we got an email back from them. Portia MacArthur is who we've been leaving messages with. It's been a very long process
Yeah.
to get them to communicate with us. I know you were aware that we've been trying to do that. You know, when you leave the provided list, I don't have a big problem with it, but there's 3 requirements there that are different. Always,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
always you have to do hour for hour because I triple credit these things up front. Another thing is that it has to be a nonprofit under state law. And what they said to me in the email from this, and this came from Kenny Stribling at TLC East, and he let us know that you did volunteer, and that, you know, Portia MacArthur signed off, but he wrote back and said, however, TLC East is a for-profit business, so I'm not sure that the hours satisfy community service, and that they are not involved in you and I figuring that out. So, which is appropriate thing to say. It wasn't rude or anything. He wasn't being rude. He just was saying, I just don't know what you're going to do with it, Judge. But he confirmed that it's not a nonprofit. So I'm not allowed to count it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. See, I didn't know because I had did 40 there before, like about 4 or 5 years ago. So I didn't know that they wasn't able to count them.
It may have changed, you know.
Oh, okay.
You know, they may have changed their business model.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I'm just checking. We're not in okay. So I can just give you more time, provide the list and rules for you and let you do it, you know. But I can't take these hours.
Okay. Is it any way that I can try to get on a payment plan or whatever?
I don't mind if you feel like you can manage financially. I don't want to set you up to go into a warrant. I can accept $25 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, you can always pay more and just get out of it faster. But
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am, it becomes a minimum payment. Okay. I'll need your signature on that if that's your decision.
Yes, ma'am.
I need a decision. I mean, I'm sorry, I need a signature today. So I
Okay.
can email it to you and have you come in, print it, sign it, and email it back. Or you can swing by and sign it and get a copy of it that way. So how do you
Okay,
want to?
I'll just swing by and I'll bring money in today to pay down on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that you're paying at least $25 today.
Yes,
then-
ma'am.
And then monthly,
Okay.
and that you're coming in. What time is gonna work for you today?
I'll be in like about 11 o'clock is fine.
Okay, that'll work well, and any clerk can help you.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
ask the clerk, and they'll be ready for you probably by then, okay? And
Okay.
so I am sorry, I find it sad and upsetting when this happens, because I know that you were in earnest. I know you weren't trying to deceive us or anything like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Certainly not suggesting that or saying that.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just one of those things where I have to follow the law on it, and I don't get to make very many exceptions.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. That's understandable.
okay, all right. Well, I'll just make a note that what you wanted to do today was to shift to payments, and that you'll be
Yes,
by
ma'am.
at 11 to sign that agreement, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Peoples. You take
Ye-
care of
ye-
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're good to hang up, okay? Mr. Mattson, I know you and Mr. Grafe were speaking, and he's back. I think, yes, there he is. Can y'all give me an update?
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial.
Okay. All right. I have that already scheduled for January 18th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here at the court. And that's what I would expect them to see everybody here.
Very good.
Okay, Mr. Grafe, you're good to go, okay?
Very good. Thank you so much for your time, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mattson, I will advance you forward to your next person, which is Jasmine Hannon. Ms. Hannon, can you unmute so we can hear you?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. I'm going to send you over to that meeting now.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I am also moving forward. And my next person is Ontarian Peoples. And now I'll find that one. I had that file already out, so it should be fine. There it is. Okay. How are you, Mr. Peoples?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. The reason for the meeting today that I called for a meeting today, hold on just a moment. I've got some files stuck together, so just trying to stay out of the chaos model. Okay, so Mr. Peoples, the reason that for the meeting today, we have a deferral. And what I'm showing is that a new ticket has been issued. And let's see, where are those? Is that this one? It says there's a new ticket, but only one. Oh, he paid it. Okay. So a new ticket was issued for no insurance.
Mm,
And, I think you came to the window or you paid online.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it was for no insurance. And part of your deferral was not to get any more tickets for that. And not to get any convictions for that.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, normally this is a show cause. I mean, you're driving uninsured still.
Well, I was driving my friend's car, and he has insurance, but I just didn't. I couldn't get in touch with him when I had to pay it.
Do you have that information or proof now? I can't undo that one, but it would help me make a better decision on this case.
You saying like, do I have his information now, like the
Proof of
insurance?
insurance, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You have proof that that vehicle was insured at the time of the stop.
Well, yes, ma'am. All I have to do is call them and I tell them that I need the information.
Okay. How quickly can you bring that in?
ASAP.
Yeah. I can reschedule you and give you 2 weeks. If you bring it in today and it checks out, I can cancel that.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm not inclined to hold it against you if you were insured driving that vehicle at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though you went ahead and entered a conviction, I can't undo that conviction. But on this case, I'm trying to figure out if you violated your agreement with me.
Mhm.
And if you didn't really, then I'll look at the spirit of the thing and not the actual conviction.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when can you swing by today to sign for the extension?
I can be in about 11.
Okay. So I'm gonna extend you till the 15th of December.
Okay.
And by then that'll be another hearing like this one. So you'll
Okay.
log in and just check in with me. And if you brought me something to look at, I'll probably have a decision on it already.
Yes, ma'am.
But there's a guarantee that if I haven't done it by then, I'll do it by then. You'll get an answer from me either way on the 15th online, okay?
Okay.
Um, and I'm just making some notes.
Okay.
You'll be in by 11.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like you understand what's going on here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Peoples, I just want to check in, make sure we're communicating. Okay, thank you. We'll see you.
Alrighty. Thank you.
All right, you're good to hang up.
Okay.
Okay. And Ms. Hannon is coming back over on that pretrial docket. Okay, Mr. Matson, Ms. Hannon, where are we with regard to the insurance case?
Your Honor, I'll be filing a motion to dismiss on this ticket. Ms. Hannon has provided proof of insurance to the court.
Is it insurance that covers the stop?
It was obtained within 24 hours.
Does it cover, this is an accident?
It does not cover the stop, but the determination of fault is not something that the officer can necessarily make.
Okay,
So
okay, I understand. All right, I just want to make sure I'm not going to reject it. So if you'll send that over, I will sign it.
I will do that today, Your Honor.
Sometimes people are cited and they aren't at fault, but they didn't have insurance, so I never know. I just flag for more questions. Okay, Ms. Hammond, he is going to send me his dismissal in your case. I will sign it and we will email it to the email that we used to set up this meeting. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just making notes. Okay, you'll have that email sometime probably later this morning. You're good to go, ma'am, okay?
Thank you, ma'am, so much.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, let me move you forward with Julie Moravec. Moravec, can you unmute for us and let's make sure your audio is working out? Let me help you, see if it can trigger you to do it. Can you unmute? There we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Okay, I will send you over to that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And I am also moving forward with Emma Fairtig. Let me find you. There we go. Good morning, ma'am. Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. And your mom is, I think, sitting with you?
This is my dad.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's not on the screen. There we go. Certainly doesn't look like your mom with the hat and the beard. So, kidding aside, sir, what is your name?
Warren Hine. WARRENHINE.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hine. Okay, I did receive a plea of of guilty and a request for teen court. This is a failing to yield the right of way turning left at an intersection. The fines and costs are $269. I show that you are a student and therefore eligible for teen court. And hang on one moment. What's our docket look like on the 18th of January? So a good traffic case might be helpful. Okay. So we have, after this, we have one. Okay. So teen court right now for this type of offense would be held at Temple High School after school. You would have to get out of school a little bit early on that date to come sit through teen court. Your case would be heard not as a guilty or not guilty case. It would be heard as a sentencing event. Okay. And what would happen there is that the jury would listen to your case and more about you and the case. There'll be a prosecutor, there'll be a team for prosecuting, a team for defending. And the goal is to see that jury of peers, other high school students, what they would assign as far as a sentence that they feel like would be what you need to have to work with to learn the most from this so that we don't have you here again and so that you don't get injured or hurt in the future. Okay, so that's how teen court would work for your case. There's a $20 fee and you have to show up. You have to do what you're asked to do. And you have to come back and be a juror one time to contribute your time.
Yes, ma'am.
The beauty of teen court, and this is for you and dad to think about, is threefold. One is that the burden of responsibility is on you and not just parents to come pay. Okay. I know that when parents come and pay, I'm more likely to see that young person again. And the other thing is that Texas is the #1 state for killing our youth on the roadways. More people who are under the age of 25 die in Texas than any other state in the country. It's a terrible number one. I've been on the bench almost 20 years now, and it has been true every month of every year, the whole time. So what we do know is that if you take a driver safety course, you drive a little bit better. If you do teen court, it's even more effective. Okay, so it is the most effective thing we can do for you. And as a young person who is one, underage and in high school with a ticket for an accident, that moves you into the numbered super group. You know, so I would like to address that, and teen court would be January 18th.
Okay.
Mom or dad could come with you, but because you're not 17 or older, you have to have a parent. And we do stay the whole time for everybody's case to be heard. It's usually 5 people's cases per time. And, you know, everybody is we kind of create a little mini community there where everybody's going to listen, pay attention, help you. Okay.
Okay.
So do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Dad, are you good with it?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna say now you'll come in today sometime, and what time's gonna work for you all?
What time is it?
9:56.
11?
11's good, right? Will that work? Okay. And you'll meet with a case manager, and they're gonna get some information. They're gonna be nosy and find out as much as they can about you, because we want to tell your advocate team as much ahead of time so that they can get ready. You know, they're gonna want to know things like, what kind of student are you? What's interesting to you? What happened here? What activities do you participate in? So yeah, tell me just a little bit. Not the accident we can talk about later, but what kind of student are you?
I'm like an AB student. I work hard.
Great. And I know like Belton just a bit. What kind of activities do you do there besides?
I'm a varsity cheerleader.
Okay. And what year are you in school? Sophomore, junior?
Junior.
Okay.
That's a volunteer with BYF.
Yes, what?
Cool.
I volunteer with BYFL. It's a youth cheerleading league that I coach.
Okay. Do you have a church or anything like that going on?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what other school activities and things?
I'm in the law enforcement. At school, I do law enforcement and forensics right now.
Is that your long-term interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. Well, you'll be happy to know that the students that volunteer for my teen court that are the advocates, they're all in those programs, most of them as well. So you'll find a lot of like-minded people in that room. Okay, well, that's enough for right now, but the teen court case manager will probably ask you a few more questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, do you have siblings?
Yes, I have 3.
Where are you in the
I'm
that- you what?
the oldest.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna be the trendsetter of the family, right?
Mm.
Okay. All right, we'll see you around 11, okay, with dad or mom?
I'm sorry. I have one question. What building will I report to?
Okay. Where y'all came before and filled out papers, we took her picture. I don't know if she came with you. She may or may not have, but we are located at 401 North 3rd Street in Temple.
Okay.
We're kind of just up the street from the Central Fire Station on the other side of the road. Okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all are good to go. Mr. Matson, I know that you and Ms. Maravec were speaking, and if y'all could just let me know an update, please.
We're going to continue forward to final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay, I have found the pretrial set on the 18th of January at 1 p.m. And that my expectation is that everyone will be here in the building at that time for this case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You have any questions?
No, ma'am, I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go. Mr. Matson, I'll be moving you forward with Colton Thunderbird. And Colton Thunderbird, can you unmute? Tell me how you're doing.
I'm here. I'm good.
Okay, very good. I can hear you, so that's an A+. I'm going to move you on over to that meeting with Mr. Matson, and we'll see you back at the, okay?
All right.
Go. And here's that one. And I also am moving forward with Samantha Carlton.
Good morning.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Let me see. Let me find you. There you are. Okay. So let's see. We did receive a bond. This is the possession of tobacco by a minor. Your fines and costs, if you pay them, you already done that, are 181, but a plea was entered, but I did not yet accept it because I wanted to make sure that you understood that we do have a first offender program. Give me just a moment. I need to get one form, okay? We have first offender program, right? This came up the other day and Melissa had not seen one of these. And it was like we never had paperwork to do those. So we sort of made one up that we printed out of LT. Yeah, it'll be just like that. Thank you. Oh, you are so right. Okay, so the way that this works is actually kind of helpful for you. You overpaid if you do the first offender program. Okay. So at the end of your case, you'll get a partial refund if you do it right. Okay. So the court costs are $81. And then you would be ordered to do an tobacco awareness class and present proof of completion no later than January 3rd. No, I'm sorry, March 2nd.
Okay.
And if you get it done, I dismiss the charge. And once I do that dismissal, the $100 will be refunded at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'll need you to come by and sign. And give me 1 second. How many hours does it need to be? I looked up the statute. 8. Is it 8 to 12? It's a 12-hour class. And I'll give you information about how to find a class, okay? Because I do allow online classes for that. All right.
Okay.
So there'll be a list of classes that I have. And you can sort of sort it out and figure out which one's going to work best. Get it done, turn it in. You don't have to wait till March. You can do it next week, turn it in and be done. And I dismiss it. You get the remaining balance refunded. And, everything works out really well. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am. Will I be receiving an email or anything?
Okay, I need your signature. So if
So
I
can.
if I email it to you, can you print it, sign it, and email it back to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So we'll email it to you later this morning.
Okay.
I need a signature today.
Alrighty, I can have that in today.
Okay, there'll be 2 things for you to sign. There'll be 3 pages total. 2 have signatures, and the third one is the list of classes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any further questions, Ms. Carlton?
No, ma'am.
Then you are good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. And my next person is Chloe Gamedzi. Excuse me, I'm saying it incorrectly repeatedly, I know. Where are you, ma'am? Is she still here? There she is on the telephone. Okay, Ms. Gamedzi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
Yes, I understand. So here we are, and it's your turn. we sent a show cause. We have, okay, so what we have right now is several things. I need to make sure I'm on the same page with you. Right now, we have a speeding charge. Yes, ma'am. Right now, we have a speeding charge dated from July 20th, and the fines and costs are $259. And I've now received a plea of no contest to that charge and a request for community service, which I will definitely review. It looks like it's probably appropriate. But first, let me confirm, are you pleading no contest to this charge?
Yes, I'm in no contest because I don't have the time to go to court, to be honest. I don't feel like it was justly done because the guy pulled me over while he was in front of me on a hill. So there was no way he saw me or got my proper speed, because when I did look at my monitor, it wasn't even the speed he wrote down. But I understand that, it takes time in court. So I don't have time. I'm a single mom. I don't have time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wasn't there, and the way that I would decide about who understands what happened best would be to hear it as a trial.
Right, of course.
You're waiving that and wanting to move forward. And of course, I do see that things being what they are, community service is the appropriate step. And if we do that, it's 13 hours. And the due date would be no later than January 31st.
Okay.
And I would.
Well, I did. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I would normally give you, you'll have to come by and get it, and sign for it, or I can email it to you if that works and you can print it.
Yes, I was under the impression that I already community service hours for it because I wasn't certain about the paperwork of it because I didn't get a lot of the mail until way later. So I had done quite a few hours.
Okay, there's not a way that I ordered community service yet because you had not entered that. So I don't know where that's coming from unless it was another case. Yeah, you had another case, and I believe that's been cleared up through the community service that you did, but that was not on this case. The other case was a no insurance charge.
Yeah.
You've turned those hours in and I've cleared your balance there, but this is the speeding charge. So we need to clear this one up too.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you want to come by and get everything or can we email it and,
You can email it. You can email it to me. That's fine.
Okay. Let me tell the clerk one quick thing on that insurance case. If she's already signed, since it's a connected case, we can take that and put it in this one. We don't need to try to get that. Okay, we'll email that to you, and you should have that in your inbox later today. And
all right.
The provider that you used checked out fine last time. You're welcome to go there again or wherever you choose, as long as it conforms to the rules. Okay.
Okay. Well, I like I said, I turned in way more hours than I needed, so I was hoping that I could just use the hours I've already, because I thought I was doing more hours.
Yeah, but you didn't. Let me look, because normally this case you have had contested this whole time and you've not shown up for court repeatedly on it. And now here we are and you're wanting to be sentenced. And now you're wanting me to sentence you and use hours that happened before your sentence. So I'm probably not able to do that.
That's okay.
I'll review it after court today and apply any hours that I feel like I can use. We received 15 hours of 14 that were required, and they are all back in September. So I'm not going to be able to use that 1 hour for this one. It's just going to be 13.
Oh, well, if you look at the document I sent over, there's a lot more than 15 hours on there.
I did look at it, and it's all from September, and there's no way that I can say that when I ordered in December, you did it 3 months ahead. I can't do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and look for the email then.
13 is what it is.
I'm sorry. You're cutting out. I don't mean to speak over you.
Because I'm speaking very clearly, but it's 13 hours. We'll email it to you. You'll have it in writing. I'm going to let you go because I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can barely hear you as well. Sorry. All right. Thank you.
An email. Aye. Okay, Mr. Mattson, I know that you have been talking with, let's see, Alton Thunderbird. And I think he's back, yes. Where are we with this matter?
Your Honor, Mr. Funderburk is going to be placed on deferral.
Okay,
It'll be a 120-day term with a driver safety course by the 60th day. And in terms of payment, I believe he would like to discuss whether or not he's going to do 30 days or set up a payment plan.
okay, all right, I'll work with him on that. And your next person, I will follow the request and sign that. I will prepare that in the courtroom once I iron out the details. Mr. Vanderburg, hang on just a moment. We'll get that
Thank you,
squared with you. Mr. Mattson, moving you forward with Sonia Lara Cortez. And Ms. Lara Cortez, can you unmute?
Hi.
Perfect. Okay, I'll move you over to that meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Funderburg, if you can unmute for a moment. Are you at this? Hi, are you at this?
Yeah.
Okay. The information you provided to me was just a few days ago, November 15th. Has anything changed since then?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Are you able to pay anything towards your balance today?
Yeah, I can. If I can, I could pay it in full right now.
Okay. That's easiest.
Yeah. I could do card, right? Or I don't have to bring cash.
Probably. Definitely you can do a card. Here's my question. Yeah, you definitely don't have to bring cash. Okay. And you can do it online or by phone. Once we know that our system is going to read that payment is going into a deferred. So the way that you're going to know that is you have received the document, you've printed it, signed it, and emailed it back. Okay. Right. So can you do that if I send it to you here in the next, bit, like not super long, a bit? Can you print it, sign it, and email it back to me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Once you email it back, then you can go online and do payment, or you can call a clerk who will walk you through the payment. I believe the fees are the same. Yeah. So, of course, bringing cash, there's no fees associated with that. There are some credit card companies charge fees. It's just what it is. But it's the same whether it's the phone or online. So that part is at least good. Okay. Well, we'll email that to you. And once you send it back, you're good to do payment. We're also going to send you info about how to find the proper class. And then just, you can email that certificate of completion in on or before your due date, which is going to be January 31st. Okay. So your deferred will just say from today until April 4th, you're on a deferral, no tickets, no warrants, no failures to appear, keep your address current, make your payment on time, turn in your class on time, and you'll get your case dismissed. Okay.
All right.
All right. Any questions?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay, Mr. Fenderburg, you're good to hang up.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I am also moving forward. Give me just a moment. My next person is Danielle's Bernard.
Good morning.
I'm sure I said your name wrong.
Yeah, it's Danielise. You said it right.
Okay. Let me look at everything real quickly. I just want to get a clear picture of what's going on here. This is a possession of tobacco by a minor. And I do need a parent in the room with you.
Yes, my mom.
Hello,
Hello, how are you, Mom?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you. What's your name, please?
I am Limari Pereira Bernhardt,
Can you spell the first name?
Limarie Marie.
Thank you. Okay, and so we did email some paperwork to you, and I have to walk you through it. We didn't get it back. No issues with that. We can do it now. It was strictly for convenience, okay? And we'll walk through those in a moment. Okay, so the first one are what are called magistrate warnings. And under state as well as federal law, you have certain rights. One is that the main one is that you have the right to remain silent. And that means that, you know, if you are wanting to get legal advice before you move forward, before we move forward with the case today, if you want to get legal advice, then when I talk to you in a moment about your plea, you would tell me, hey, I need more time. Okay. But the way that this reads, it reads in legal language, and it says you're charged with the offensive possession of tobacco by a minor, which is a misdemeanor. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You have the right to have that attorney present prior to and during any interviews or questioning by peace officers or attorneys that represent the state. You have the right to remain silent. You're not required to make a statement, and any statement you make can and may be used against you in court. You have the right to stop any interviews or questioning at any time. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you come in, you'll sign. Okay. And then I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay. The next one says that you have I need to confirm your address. I don't give out addresses over the internet or the phone. So this one begins with a 500 number. Is that still where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Y'all will sign confirming that when you come in, and you and Mom will sign that. Okay. The one after that says that there is a duty to keep your address current until your case is completely done. That means that whatever we do today, after today, you must keep up with your case until it's completed. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And your mom and you will both sign that when y'all come in today, okay? Okay. It's a bunch of forms, but they're all required by law. The next one is short and sweet, and it just says that after I make a court order on your case today, you have to follow that court order and do what's required. And if you're unable to, you're going to have to come and solve it with me. You still have to come in and deal with it. And that's true until there's either a zero balance or a dismissal, whatever is appropriate for your case. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the final one will tell you how to keep an item from being on your record. Basically, on a tobacco case, once you complete your court order, you have the right to request an expunction to have it removed. Now, there is still shielding of your record as a teen. It's not 100% absolute, but there is a lot of shielding. And so that may or may not be important. But if you were looking to expunge your record, the way that you would do that would be, you would apply to this court for that. And an expunction is a fancy word for erasing something from your record. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the next question is, earlier, I went through a long-winded thing about guilty, not guilty, and no contest, the options for pleading in a court. Did you understand those options?
You're pleading
Yes, ma'am.
guilty.
I plead guilty.
I understand that, but I need to make sure you understood. And Mom, do you feel like she understands what she's charged with and what her options are for pleading?
Yes.
Okay. And then I did receive a plea of guilty and a request for teen court, which I am inclined to grant. Are you pleading guilty at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With teen court, there's a $20 fee. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes.
Okay. And then give me one moment. Let me check in with my teen court coordinator. She's right here. And I just want to get her opinion about this. Okay. Hang on just 1 second. Do we want to leave an open? See if we feel like it's seems like better to just move this. A tobacco class, 8 hours. Okay. Okay. So I just was connecting with my coordinator because she makes recommendations and she did review your case as well as I did. The recommendation she had, which I think is appropriate, is that you take a tobacco awareness class. It's 8 hours, it's online, and I would need it pretty quickly by January 3rd. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Are y'all gonna be able to get that done?
Yes.
Yes. That means y'all pay for it. It's not incredibly expensive, but you're paying $20 instead of the $181. You're paying for the class. It's getting dismissed from the record, and it will be cheaper to do it this way. The law says you can wind up paying the $181 plus you owe a class. So this is by far the least expensive and the most effective learning tool that we have because tobacco kills people.
I understand.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Other smokers in the house?
Nobody.
Okay. Mom, is this a one-off or are we developing an addiction to tobacco at this time?
No. It was just one time. I understand it was an outlet for her because it was a very rough year, and even that I did took her to counseling. She went through this, but no,
Okay. I want to check in about that. On a personal note, and I don't mind sharing, but my mother died from tobacco. My aunt died from tobacco, and they started at your age.
Yeah.
Now they lived a long life, but it was miserable at the end.
Yes.
And so I take it seriously. To me, I really care, Danny, Elise, I really care that you not develop a habit of smoking.
Thank
And
you.
besides that, it takes a lot of it's a lifestyle change. People who smoke, it's so expensive now that when they quit, they can literally live a better life, a healthier life, but also a better life. So I would like that for you.
Thank you.
What time can y'all come in today?
Yeah, 11. I'm a little bit sick. I don't know if I'm having COVID, but yes, I will drive. Can she go by herself? What if I stay in the parking lot and she pay, or I have to be present?
Yeah, if you have COVID, your daughter has COVID by now.
Well, no, I don't have COVID. Like I just test myself, so I'm waiting. But I'm being sick, so I don't just want to be exposing them.
Why don't you come in masked both?
Mm-hmm.
And it's only 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't want to drive.
Okay. I'll just let the clerk know that you're probably going to be masking and you'll be in a little bit of a hurry. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then for the class, is going to be an email online for us to sign in, for her to log in.
A list of places when you're here to use to pick a place.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Matson, I know that you were talking with Ms. Laura Cortez. Can we get an update on this case? It's a no DL charge.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Laura Cortez is going to be bringing her driver's license by the court today. And once that has been done, I'll be filing a motion to dismiss.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to say is that if it's dismissed by the end of the day, I won't schedule the final pretrial.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Laura Cortez, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you bring that in, we'll scan it into the file and Mr. Matson will be looking for that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, moving forward, Mr. Matson, your next person is Brittany Christopher. Brittany Christopher, can you unmute? And
Yes,
get on?
ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna move you over to that one. Okay, and I am also moving forward with Miranda Patterson, if you can unmute.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Ms. Patterson?
Honestly, I wish I could say better.
What's going on?
We haven't had heat in our house, and I have 2 severely infected teeth and can't get into a dentist without insurance. And my depression has gotten to the point where I don't leave the house and they can't get me in to see a doctor until I establish with a PCP. And I was supposed to do that in October, and I showed up at my appointment, but because I was 2 minutes late, they made me reschedule for February. But the good thing is I've finished my physical therapy degree, and I'm going back to school to finish my criminology degree.
Okay, the physical therapy degree, are you gonna be like working in that field or?
I'm looking for a job right now. I've got training tomorrow in Waco for a home health agency, and she's gonna let me do like training videos and stuff until they're able to establish with more clients in the Bell County area, because she said they're fairly new to Bell County, but she's gonna try and recruit some clients as soon as she can, because I told her I need to work.
Okay.
And we've also had CPS come into our life. My son fractured his arm at school, and somebody decided to call CPS and say that my spouse broke my son's arm. So that's just been stressful in itself because it's causing my son to act out a lot.
Yeah, I'm familiar with how that works. Okay. All right, so now we've got to think about what to do with all of the things that you have here, because we haven't had any movement on them. I am certainly willing to give you some more time on community service.
Thank you, because I still haven't heard from the Boy Scouts as to whether they're going to approve some of the hours that I've done with them to be able to give to you.
Okay. Well, normally those hours, I've had Boy Scouts before. So as long as they're willing to, provide the documentation with you, I'm good to go. I'm going to push this out a bit further than normal because I heard your February deadline too. And I'm going to just move this out to March 2nd.
Okay.
Because even though we haven't had any progress, you've stayed up with it a bit. And I do think you're trying.
Thank you.
You just have had some setbacks. We do have that one case, just a reminder, that's $85 that isn't in a community service order because it can't be. And I'm just reminding you because maybe you can, put $5 a month on that for a while and see what we can get it down to. But
okay,
I know it's hard to consider and think about that with everything else, but it's just going to be sitting there. And it'd be great when we finally do clear everything out with your community service to clear that too. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's just a friendly reminder that I'll grant your extension for community service till March 2nd.
Wow. Okay, there we go.
That's 169 hours. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ms. Patterson, I'm gonna let you go, okay?
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am, and I know things will get better.
Oh, yes, they will. In time. It's just gonna take time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Mattson, I know that you were talking to Brittany Christopher, and if I could hear from y'all where we are with this matter.
Your Honor, Ms. Christopher has actually already submitted insurance to the court, so I'll be filing a motion to dismiss on this case.
Okay. Ms. Christopher, if I receive that, and I'm sure that I will, that wasn't a real big if, when I receive that, I can email it to the email that we used to set up this meeting. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll email that to you probably sometime this morning, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Mr. Mattson, moving you forward, let me just check in. Robin Smith is your next. Robin Smith, can you unmute and let me know how you're doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Send over to that meeting. I'll see you back at the. Hang on just a moment. My next person is Misty Brazeho, but I'm not seeing her. Hang on just a moment. I also have a few unusual things happening here. Let's see.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, for some reason it went off of a mute. I mean, the name changed back. Can you also start your video?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it's, I'm not sure if it's on. Oh, yes, ma'am, it's on.
Thank you so much. So let's see. Okay. Let me look. I'm looking at your registration. Okay, I'm just reading the letter, but can maybe you're shuffling a lot of papers. It's I don't.
Sorry.
Well, it's fine, but it's extraordinarily loud. And I'm just trying to focus for a minute because you gave me a lot of information, and I'm just wanting to confirm what I think I need to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and allow a dismissal. I'm going to go ahead and allow a dismissal on your ticket. And in addition, I'm going to waive your dismissal fee.
Okay.
Because I see that you cannot pay it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, we'll email that to you to the email that we had that we set up the meeting using. Will that work?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. You're good to go.
Okay. Have a good day.
Okay. I have a few things I'm trying to sort out. But no. So first of all, remind me again, iPhone user, your name because it went off.
Aaron
And the last name, Aaron?
Dusek, Dusek.
Okay, yeah, you're on my docket. Let's see. Okay, Mr. Dusek, I did receive your community service hours and I am able to credit them. And therefore, you're good to go. We're done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Did you got the email, or would you like me to bring them up there to you?
Let's see. I think I have what I need.
Because yeah, I had to do 14 hours, and I did it at Belton Library.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I got everything. I'm good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm zeroing out your balance today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go. Mr. Mattson, let's see. Who were
Your
you
Honor, Ms.
talking?
Smith, I think, was disconnected. She froze for about a minute and then left the room.
Okay. Let's see if she logs back in. And I've got a little bit of a chaos happening again. Sania Turner, can you remind me of your name, please? The person with that screen name.
Sanaya Turner.
Yes. Is that your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do we have that person around? Let's look her up because I'm not seeing her in the docket. So give me just a moment. Okay. Is it for me or Mr. Matson? Do you mind printing it? I have her. It's a Sylvia. Enter the wrong one, I'm sure. Okay. Ma'am, we'll be with you shortly. There was a glitch and we'll sort it out and be ready for you in just a moment. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just hang on. I'll be with you soon. And then I think that Ms. Smith is back on, so we're good to move forward with that case. Mr. Matson?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll head back to the breakout room.
No, I'm sorry. Y'all are still meeting. Yes,
ma'am. I lost connection or something.
Yeah, it's not a great connection on your end. Something's up with it, but let's keep trying. So I'll move you over to that meeting again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If not, we can always come into the court date. Okay. Then I have so Marietta Medverick, can you unmute and tell me that you can hear me first of all?
Yes, I can.
Are you also on a telephone?
I'm on a telephone too. Do I need to disconnect?
So what is the telephone number?
Telephone number is 254-681-7226.
Great. That solves my other problem. I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
That phone has been in the meeting for a little while, and this is better. And you don't want to challenge your systems. It's better just to log on one way. So we're good. Just hang on because yours is a meeting with the prosecutor, and we'll be with you shortly. Okay.
Okay, so I don't talk with you. I talk with him.
You talk with him first. Yeah.
Okay, so
Hold tight. We'll be with you soon.
Okay.
Okay. And then there is a man who's named Moto G Power on there and finally is connected. Sir, can you tell me your name? Gentleman with glasses.
Hello.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Rafael Lopez.
Okay, great. Your audio is finally connected.
Oh man, it's been, I'm not a phone person, you know, and more like a old style person. So I'm very sorry about that.
I understand.
And
Don't worry about it, but we've got you identified now. So we'll be with you shortly, okay?
come on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna change the name on the screen so that I don't forget who you are again. So thanks, Mr. Lopez. And so Misty Fraso was here and is gone. Let's see. I'm just gonna skip that one for now. Oh, we did? I'm sorry. There we go. Leandra Ruiz, can you unmute? Tell me how you're doing. Yes, I can see you. Can you unmute? Ms. Ruiz?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Judge?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing fine. I do have your file and I just wanted to review it out loud so that we can get on the same page, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so right now this is what we call a pay show cause, which is what we do when we're behind on a payment plan. And we had, let's see. Okay, I'm just looking at your notes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you able to, are you able to pay today?
I could pay at least $50 today, Judge.
Okay. And then you're paying, are you paying every other week or what, or twice a month?
I'm getting paid on the 7th of this month.
Okay, and then the next pay date after that, is it the 2 weeks
It's
later?
every other week. Yes, ma'am. Every other week.
So is it always on a Wednesday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I would suggest that next Wednesday, we just do $20. And we just do that every, and then we just go to $20. After today, you pay 50. Next week, you pay 20, and it's $20 every 2 weeks.
That sounds great. And if I could pay more, I can.
Yes, you can always do that and not have any penalty.
Yes, ma'am.
I need, when you come in today, I'll get a signature on this new plan agreement. Okay. So
do I need to also, can I pay cash or do I need to pay credit card?
So it's up to you. We take pretty much everything. What I will tell you is if you bring cash, you save money because credit card companies charge fees. We don't charge fees, but if they charge fee, then there's a fee that you pay them. And
yes, ma'am, I got cash.
But if you pay, you know, to me, it's like if you have 50 payments and you pay $2 50 times, that's a lot of money.
Ooh. Yes, ma'am, it is.
I think why not do cash or bring a check? But we will take checks. But what time will you be in to do that $50 payment sign up?
I can be up there in a minute.
Okay. Give us more than 60 seconds, but we'll have it at the front desk for you probably here in the next half hour or less.
Okay, sounds good. I can be up there about 11:30.
That's perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll see you then, Ms. Ruiz.
Thank you.
If your name,
thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
I know you logged in with a different last name. If your name has changed and you are have an ID.
No, ma'am, it hasn't changed.
Okay. All
right. It
right.
hasn't changed. It's still the same. I'm not married. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I don't mean to get into your business.
Have a good day.
You too.
Oh, no. You good.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Turner, are you able to get on screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So let me just kind of walk through where we are, okay? Let's see, you're 18. Are you still in high school?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in my senior year.
Where do you go to school?
Pathways Academic Campus in Killeen, Texas.
Okay. And I do know that program because I had a friend who used to teach out there. So let me just review.
She got to use the bathroom.
Okay. I can hold. I can hold. I need to, somebody's going to the bathroom?
We was talking about my dog. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you can take your dog out. We're going to talk a little bit. She's 18. It's up to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Turner, we oh, hang on just a moment. Let me get, okay, Mr. Mattson, I know y'all are getting frustrated. Ms. Smith, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Every time I can hear you fine, and then I see you're getting disconnected. So,
Yes, ma'am.
where are you?
I'm using my phone. And apparently where I am, I don't have good service, I guess.
Right. Okay. So, have y'all been able to come to some kind of understanding, or where are we, Mr. Mattson?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We
Mr. Matt,
he advised me of the deferral process.
okay. Are you wanting to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Turner, I'll be right back with you. Okay. Mr. Mattson, tell me about the deferral.
Your Honor, it's actually going to be both charges on one deferral. There's a speeding charge and a failure to change address for the driver's license.
Okay.
So it'll be, unless you disagree with the length of time, it'll be 120 days, driver safety course by the 60th day, payment of the fine, and then I'm not sure how the DMV or if it's the county tax assessor that is handling changing your license, but I do understand that some people are having difficulty getting in immediately. So if the deadline for the updated license can be set later in the deferral period, I think that would be appropriate.
Okay. How about this? I mean, why don't we put it towards the very end? And she can always turn it in earlier. Ma'am, you'll want to get on it because it is hard to get in to see them. And just a word of advice, you don't have to do it in your county. And sometimes you can do it online. But if you're having to go in, I think you can do that anywhere, as long as it's, DPS. So I'll put that due by March 2nd. That's 30 days before the end. But my question is, Ms. Smith, what can you pay towards your balance today? You're muted, so I can't hear you.
Do I have to pay something today to get it started?
No, that's my question. I mean, it's we have a short window. It's $435. I'm trying to figure out what I need to be doing and if I can do a 4-month or if I need to extend this longer.
I mean, I would want to do a payment plan for sure.
But I have a short window. Like people who pay $25 a month can't do a deferred because it's not 4 months. That's like a year. So I'm trying to speed it up a little, not because for any other reason, the deferred is not gonna last that long. So you can't pay anything today is what you're saying, although you're not answering the question. So I don't really know what you're saying, but I'm interpreting that as I can't pay anything today. So when are
Correct.
when are you paid in your job?
Next Friday.
Okay. On that day, what is the max you can pay?
I can pay 100.
Okay. That's gonna mean that, because I can do 3 payments. So that if I go three, a third, and a third, it's 145. If you pay 100, then the others are gonna get bigger. Can you pay 145?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Okay. And then the next
He's
question.
gone, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll keep working with her. You can move on. Okay. She'll probably log back in. If not, we'll just send it to her and see what happens. Let me move you on forward, however, because your next person is Marietta Medverick. She's actually been logging in and out and had a variety of devices and phones and things, and I think we've got her figured out. I see Ms. Smith on my screen. But anyway, and I'll be right back with her. This Medverick, can you unmute once again?
And you, can you hear me now?
Yes. So I'm going to move her into that meeting with you, Mr. Mattson. However, what I want to let you know is I don't think she's heard everything that we talked about at the beginning. She was in and out, and I mean trying, but she's had some technology issues. So just be aware, she might not be as aware of her options as many people are.
Understood.
Okay. Ms. Medverick, I'm moving you over to that meeting and y'all will come back at the end, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Smith, I still see you there. So let me keep trying to sort this out. So you kind of go in and out. It's weird. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you now.
Okay, so on the 9th, you're making a payment. 2 weeks later is the 23rd. 2 weeks after that is going to be the 6th of January. Can we do the second payment on the 6th of January?
Yes.
And then the final payment would be literally 2 payment dates later, on the 3rd of February. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So your deferred is going to read like this. From today until April 4th, you're on a deferred disposition. And if you meet the following conditions, your case will be dismissed. One is that you have a driver safety course due, taken online at your own expense, due January 31st. We're going to give you class information to be able to find a class, okay? 2, that you make your 3 payments, which are payments of $145 each, 3 separate payments, December 9th, January 6th, and February 3rd. And finally, that you provide an up-to-date driver's license with proper address no later than March 2nd.
Okay.
Okay. So I can email that to you to the email that we use to set up your case, as long as you can print it, sign it, and email it back, or else you can come by the court to sign it. But I need your signature today. So what will work best for you?
I can do it through email.
Okay. We'll email it to you here shortly, and then just print it, sign it, email it back. We'll also include class information, and then you can always call a clerk to find out more about how to pay by phone. You can go online and pay online, or you can swing by the court and make payment that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, you're good to go. Ms. Turner, we're back on with you. Thank you for your patience. Can you go ahead and restart video and audio, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So, okay. So I did get your note about, you're trying to get a license and you're 18, so you can probably do that fairly quickly. But I need to check in one thing real quickly. Was she on time, Ms. Turner's report? And then another question I have.
Shush, never.
Okay, I'm gonna need to focus. Was the vehicle you were driving, even though you were driving illegally, because you're not licensed, is that vehicle insured or was it insured at the time?
I don't think it was insured at the time, but it is insured now.
Okay. All right, and then the speeding charge. So I did receive a plea of guilty on the no license charge. I received a plea of guilty on the no insurance charge. And I did receive a plea of guilty on the speeding charge going 85 and a 65. Okay. You have asked for teen court. I think teen court is a good idea. Or no, yeah. I don't know. Let me check your file. Did you give us your student ID?
I'm pretty sure I did. If not, I have it with me.
Okay. And then, so normally with teen court, there's a $20 fee per case, which would turn into $60. Can you pay those fees today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. To sign your paperwork. So someone's going to have to get you here. So I don't want you driving here, okay?
Okay.
So okay. Driver's license charge?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the ending.
Yeah, I didn't finish the sentence yet. Hang on just a moment. Yeah. She can still be in teen court. And there's a financial hardship. So okay. So on your license in the next 60 days, which means you're gonna have to get on it.
Okay. My my DPS appointment for me to get a license is not until February the 3rd.
February 3rd. Okay, I can allow that. Let me just get my dates pulled up. That's a Friday. So you would turn it in no later than February 6th.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not our cheap, right? It's in here.
Thank you.
On your insurance case, you're going to be required to show up-to-date insurance.
Okay.
And I need up-to-date insurance that covers you and you have access to for the next 3 months.
Okay.
You need to provide it no later than January 3rd. And then on the speeding charge, I'm going to have you write an essay. So they take all those classes. It's going to have to do with just, safety generally. And that's going to be due January 3rd.
Okay.
So when you come here to do payment today, you'll get that assignment as well.
Okay.
So license, insurance for 3 months, an essay. Essay and insurance are due January 3rd. License due February 6th. That would trigger a dismissal in your cases.
Okay. Thank you.
You would save a lot of money if you do it this way. What time can y'all be here today?
We can be there as soon as we leave as soon as I disconnect from the Zoom, we can go head up there.
Okay, I'll just say by 12:30, no later than.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Incidentally, I would like to let you know, y'all's fire alarm needs the battery. It's very loud.
Our fire alarm?
Yeah, it's cheaping.
I don't know why. There's nothing going off here.
It may not be on your end. I'll check.
Okay. I can leave?
Yes.
Okay. Have a
You too. Okay. Mr. Matson, Ms. Medaveric, excuse me. Where are we with regard to the case?
We're going to continue the final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, let me get that date for you. Ms. Medaveric,
Yes, ma'am.
the final pretrial is here in the courtroom, okay?
Okay.
It's not a trial. We're setting up the case at that point to go to trial. And there are things we have to do in order to get that successfully to go the right direction. So you can plan to be here for about an hour. It may be less, but we're scheduled for January 18th at 1 o'clock, okay?
Ma'am, January 18 will not be good because I have to go on a conference. I'm a medical provider, so we have a conference and I'm on a conference from the 8th of January to the 18th of January. So I'm coming back on the 18th of January. I don't think so I can make the time. Can we do later on, maybe one day or two?
I can do a different time. I can't do 1 or 2 days. I can do February 8th.
February 8th will be okay.
At 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock? Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you then. We'll send you a notice.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, Mr. Matson, and you can hang up now, Ms. Medverick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, I am moving you with Rafael Lopez. Are we still getting chirping? See, I think it was on. Yeah, I do too. And I had several people this morning. That's why I started getting confused about where it might be, because it's almost like becoming an epidemic thing where I notice that people's fire alarms are not working. It's worrisome. Mr. Lopez, I'm trying to move you over, but it says you moved and didn't join. So I don't know how to resolve that. The only way to resolve that is for you to hang up and dial back in, because I can't send you again. So hang up and dial back in. Just wait for Ryan to come back frustrated, I guess. Because I'm trying to bring him back over. I can't get Mr. Lopez in, and I can't get him back over. So I notice that happens when people are in cars. Sometimes they're moving, and that's a problem, but sometimes they're just near a building or. Okay, so when I sent him over, it wouldn't take him over, and it said he didn't join. And I couldn't resend him, so I hung him up, and he's going to dial back in.
Okay.
I think sometimes people are at work, and a lot of people work near or in a warehouse type setting. And those big metal buildings really wreak havoc on signals. So I think that could be the case here. He's been very diligently logging in and trying to be in this meeting all morning. And he's had a struggle the whole time. So he's probably not heard a lot of the options and things. Okay, now his audio is connecting. And we'll make sure he's fully connected before we try to, okay. Mr. Lopez, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me try this again, okay?
Excuse me?
We're gonna try again.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mr. Mattson, I would suggest wait until he moves. Because maybe two parties moving at the same time is too much. So
I will wait.
looks like it's trying to take him over.
While I'm waiting, Judge, did Jordan Clay change their plea to no contest?
I don't even have that on my list, so let me look and see. Okay, he moved. I'll check on that.
Okay, they were on my docket initially, but whenever I pulled their case up, when I was putting my sheet together, it said that they had changed their plea and requested defensive driving. So I wanted to make sure that that was the case and that they're not a no-show.
Okay. Please join him in the breakout room because now he's asking why he's alone.
I will go over.
Okay. I don't see people getting to do driver safety when they didn't elect to do it at first appearance like the rule says. So I usually say they can do DSC too. Is that Jordan Clay? Is she on time? Yeah, I just have to walk through that every time to see like, what was the date? What happened on that date? Are they early? Were they there? We extend her. Okay, not her fault. Okay. Okay, and she did a partial payment. Or like a DSC payment. I'm gonna go ahead and approve that, because otherwise it's too messy. They charged her for the DSC process. Now we gotta get her back in. I'm at the point where I have to work so hard to try to get this knee straightened out because it's throwing my back out. And it feels like, I'm sorry, I'm on screen. Oops, people don't need to know that. It feels like my knee is gonna split when I work. But they're like, no, you can't hurt this thing. And I'm like, okay, just don't fall. That's what they tell me, just don't fall. I did. How about you? So y'all just kind of got together once everybody got together.
I need a day off.
That happens. Do we have anything we need to run by the prosecutor before we let him go today? Okay. That's good. It's so frustrating to me that I have like 10 people to talk to and 9 of them are not identifiable. But I've tried to come up with wording to tell people how to do that. Thing is, people who know how. People who don't need a very detailed direction. And it really is easy for them to just do it. So I think I'll just continue to do it. I talk myself out of it every time that I try to come up with a way to tell people there'll be these little 3 dots. I mean, it just sounds. Also, it sounds like I'm talking down the same.
Is it Miss Turner? Not yet. They're supposed to live in. They're living in.
They said they were living. So. Yeah. Yeah. So we moved her in.
Let me. I'll be just a minute. Okay. I'll bring it up.
I've moved him. It's just taking time to do it. Here we go. Okay. All right, Mr. Lopez, if you can unmute again, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Mattson, can you give me an update?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez has actually submitted proof of quarantine to the court, and that was verified with Animal Medical Services. I actually just called them and spoke with Kelsey, the receptionist. So I will be dismissing Mr. Lopez's ticket.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lopez, the prosecutor will be sending me a dismissal in this case. I will sign it. I will sign it. And I will email it to you at the email that we used to set up this meeting. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks for your diligence this morning. Okay. Because I know you had to do a lot to stay in this meeting. And we got there in the end. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're good to hang up, and we'll get that to you sometime this morning.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Mattson, in answer to your question, regarding the Clay case, Jordan Clay, bit of a training issue. She had come in and entered a plea and paid. Well, she got onto your docket, and then she entered a plea and paid to do the driving safety course option and asked to do it and changed her plea. And that didn't get referred to me the way that it needed to. We've got some new people and we're just working out the kinks.
Not a problem. I just wanted to make sure I didn't mark her as a no-show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she's not a no-show. The no-shows I have for today are Bush, Hamilton, Royal, which is a pattern that I know from the past. That's it.
That is what I have as well.
Okay, we're very good.
Thank you, Judge. I'll have all those documents sent over to you ASAP.
That's perfect.
All right.
We got the ones so far that you've sent, so. Yeah. Yeah, the quarantine. So I don't know what else we're looking for besides the quarantine.
Aaron, I'll just call you and run through what I'm missing, okay?
She thinks it's just a quarantine case, but yeah, give her a call.
Can do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
Judge.
great weekend. If I don't see you, have a great weekend. Oh, wait, we're meeting tomorrow, aren't we?
We're meeting this afternoon, actually.
I will see you this afternoon.
Yes, you will.
Meeting this afternoon.
Should be 2 o'clock.
Oops.
Let me double check.
Okay, I gotta get on it. I got scheduled for physical therapy and missed the conflict. So let me try to resolve that. I'll see you then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.